Thanks for joining me on another adventure. I'm Annie Crawley, also known as Ocean Annie, an underwater photographer, filmmaker, and ocean explorer. Today we are going to dive with hammerhead sharks, get in the middle of a bait ball, learn about manta rays, and go cage diving with great white sharks. Sharks and rays are my favorite ocean animals, so I'm really excited to share these underwater scuba diving adventures with you. Our first stop on the journey today is Darwin's Arch in the Galapagos Islands, located more than 600 miles off the coast of South America. Darwin's Arch is just this tiny piece of land out of the water, but underneath, an entire world comes alive. Hammerhead sharks are everywhere. I love scuba diving with hammerhead sharks. The animals in the ocean are wild, and many animals like hammerhead sharks migrate, traveling to other places within the ocean. Today we are going to dive with my friends who are both scientists and Galapagos park rangers. They are working on answering questions about hammerhead sharks. The rangers have tagged some hammerhead sharks and are changing the satellite beacons on the rocky reefs here. The beacons collect information when the tagged sharks come near. Sometimes sharks travel hundreds and even thousands of miles. We know this because of what gets recorded to the satellite beacons. Each of these devices has the ability to pick up information from the satellite tags that is unique to each tagged shark. Because of this technology, scientists can study hammerhead sharks' migration patterns to learn where they go when they are not in Galapagos. It is important to understand why sharks do not stay in one place, so we can learn how to put global laws in place to protect sharks everywhere. Not all sharks have tags. Scientists have learned the tagged sharks visiting Galapagos traveled between different chains of islands in the Pacific Ocean, including Cocos and Palau Islands. Although we are learning about sharks through observation and tagging, there is still a lot we don't know. The ocean is 90% unexplored. Let's look closer at this school of hammerhead sharks. We know they communicate within their schools based on how the sharks use their bodies and fins while swimming. The way we use hand signals to communicate as scuba divers, sharks can communicate using their body movements. The large schools are almost all females. We learn a lot about animals through observations, both while we are scuba diving and through the photos and video we take. We can tell the difference between female and male sharks by observing their bodies. A female shark has a cloaca, and a male shark has external claspers. This is the same for all species of sharks. The claspers are two external projections you can see about 2/3 of the way down the underside of a shark's body. The female just has fins. Can you observe and see the difference? Some scientists believe there is a hierarchy in the school of hammerheads, similar to the head of your family. We know other fish school for protection, but hammerheads are at the top of the food web, so they do not need to school for protection. Hammerhead sharks have few enemies when they are fully grown. That is why it is believed they school for reproduction reasons and not for protection. Hammerheads sure are a bizarre-looking fish. There are 9 different species of hammerhead sharks. The scalloped hammerheads are usually found in schools, while the great hammerhead grows up to 19 feet long and often travels alone. Scientists believe hammerheads developed heads that work and look like a huge metal detector underwater because they can detect electrical impulses with special organ receptors called the ampullae of Lorenzini. You can actually see this organ. It's all the little tiny dots on the front of the shark's nose. Rays have them too. All sharks have this organ, the ampullae of Lorenzini, for detecting electrical impulses in the water. This special organ helps sharks hunt for food and find their way when migrating. Similar to how we use a compass, scientists believe some sharks use the Earth's magnetic field to find their way while traveling. These fish have a symbiotic relationship with one another. Sharks, like all fish, need to stay clean. Here, you can see the king angelfish cleaning the hammerhead sharks. All sharks and rays need to go to cleaning stations. Dead scales, parasites, bacteria, and food get stuck in their teeth and gills. Scientists believe, based on the data they collect, the hammerhead sharks migrate to the different island chains of Galapagos, Cocos, and Palau to get cleaned. When visiting Darwin's Arch, there are many other animals we can see. There are turtles, schools of fish, eagle rays, and even whale sharks. Whale sharks migrate too. These gigantic sharks are found in different areas of our world ocean. They are only found in Galapagos at certain times of the year. Almost every single whale shark in Galapagos that has been identified is a female. The currents can be very strong when scuba diving, so sometimes when we scuba dive, we stay in one place on these underwater platforms and just observe the show. The images we take while scuba diving helps us record the animals we find, identify them, and observe in detail how they behave in their natural world. Hammerhead sharks and Galapagos sharks hunt eagle rays. Eagle rays are one of hammerhead sharks' favorite foods. It is a fish-eat-fish world under the sea. Eagle rays hover in one place using the current. They look like they have wings, but these wings are their pectoral fins. When the current slows down, we can find eagle rays up in the shallow water looking for some of their favorite food, giant barnacles. Their mouths are shaped to feed on benthic animals, which means animals that live on the bottom. Eagle rays have flat teeth for crunching the hard shells. Eagle rays also have 2 to 6 stingers close to the base of their whip-like tail. Their tail is used for balance while swimming, and their stingers for protection. We learn a lot about fish by the shapes of their heads, tails, and fins. There are some sharks that live solitary lives, but will school when hunting or mating. Check out these sharks. They are reef sharks and appear on the reefs in large numbers in Palau, following the migrations of Moorish idols and surgeon fish during mating season. The sharks will work together, chasing the schools of fish, tiring them out, and then feeding on the weaker ones. It's great to be able to film and observe behaviors while scuba diving. Watch this school of fish. The fish move closer and closer together in their schools, sometimes creating a bait ball. Then predators like the trevally jacks, groupers, and sharks follow the school, confusing them, hoping to create an opportunity for feeding. Often, fish will form very tight bait balls when schooling. They look like one large fish and move with synchronicity, always trying to get to the center of the school. The sharks use their senses to hunt and pick fish off from the bait balls. I love to scuba dive and film sharks and rays in the wild. These nurse sharks have barbels near their mouths. They use their barbels to taste and feel for food. They are opportunistic feeders, which means they will eat whatever is available. Queen conch, lobster, clams, sea urchins. They have teeth in their mouth they use for gripping, but their jaws are more like dental plates they use for munching and crunching. Some of their teeth are broad and flat, like the molars in the back of your mouth. Nurse sharks can be found both in deep water or in shallow water. Underwater photos and video are taken with special underwater cameras and lights. We need to bring lights when we scuba dive because water absorbs light. In shallow water, there is lots of light because of the sun. But as we dive deeper, there's less sunlight, so we need to bring the light with us. It is easy to get excited when filming and photographing sharks. If we get excited when the sharks come close, we have to remember to stop, think, and breathe slowly. Because when we breathe slow, we move slow. Scuba diving with sharks and rays are some of the most exciting dives we can do. I love diving with sharks and rays, especially to capture their behavior. Manta rays are fish in the same class as sharks. They are elasmobranchs. Sharks and ray skeletons are made of cartilage, making them very flexible and lighter than bone. Manta rays are fun to swim with in the water. I love watching manta rays. They are like acrobats and can do somersaults. Like all fish, manta rays need to visit cleaning stations too. All day long, manta rays alternate between feeding stations and cleaning stations on the reef. These manta rays are feeding on plankton. We can tell because their cephalic lobes on their head are rolled out, funneling water and food into their mouth. Can you see their cephalic lobes? Mantas will spend hours feeding. After the mantas finish feeding, they visit a cleaning station. Manta rays have gill rakers lining their gills. As they open their mouths, food can get trapped in their gills. Their gills need to be kept clean because manta rays breathe through their gills. Manta rays have 5 gill slits on each side of their bodies. As the manta ray approaches a cleaning station, she swims slowly in a circle. Cleaner fish are territorial. They jump on the manta ray as she continues to circle the coral reef where they live. The fish will enter her mouth, clean her gills, and go all over her body, looking for parasites, dead skin, leftover food, and even bacteria. Right before the manta ray leaves the cleaning station, you will see her give a little shake, so all of the cleaner fish jump off before she swims away. Just like you are unique and can be identified by your fingerprint, every manta ray is unique too. Mantas can be identified by the spots and markings on their underside. These markings are their fingerprint. Scientists have tracked manta rays between the island chains of Yap and Palau by using photography and video to identify individual animals. There are several different species of manta rays found around the world. Scientists believe they migrate for a variety of reasons, including to give birth. Manta rays also need to be protected because people are overfishing them from the ocean. Manta rays are thought to be even more endangered than sharks and need your voice to help protect them. Check this manta ray out. This is so cool. It's a black manta. These black manta rays are the same species as the white manta rays we have been observing. They are just different colors. There is so much diversity in the ocean. Scientists continue to discover new species, some more strange than the next. Have you noticed the small gray fish that are often found with the sharks? Here's one. These are Remoras. They're also known as suckerfish. Can you see their flat head? They can suck onto sharks and rays. Scientists believe Remoras use the shark for cover and hitch a free ride as it swims around the sea. This Remora was resting on the white-tipped reef shark's belly. When the shark went to rest, the Remora had to release itself, or it would have gotten buried in the sand. There are many areas of the world you can dive with great white sharks. Today, we are heading to Guadalupe Island off the coast of Mexico. We're going to have to travel 24 hours by boat, and when we wake up, we're going to be at Guadalupe Island. Once we anchor the boat, our crew puts cages in the water. The cages are made out of the same metal as airplanes, so they are very safe. Guadalupe Island is an area where fur seals and sea lions pup and give birth. Fur seals, and sea lion pupping areas are where great white sharks go to hunt for food. Great white sharks are not interested in people. In order for us to see them, we have to attract the sharks to us. We cut up fish and put it in the water. This cut up fish is called chum, and it's used to attract the great white sharks to us. Great white sharks have a keen sense of smell. and the fish chum put in the water attracts the great whites so we can get a closer look. When we enter the cages, we use surface-supplied air from hookah hoses. By having the hookah hoses, we can move around in the cages without scuba tanks on our back. I know this shark has no interest in human beings because we are not its natural food. It is coming close to the cage to look at us because they are curious and can smell the chum. I wonder what the shark thinks of us. We need to end unsustainable and illegal shark and ray fishing practices. Sharks and rays are being targeted for specific body parts like their fins or their gill rakers. These animals reproduce very slowly. If we continue to take them out of the ocean, some species of sharks and rays may go extinct within our lifetime. We need to work together to protect sharks and rays. Many people are afraid of sharks and rays, but the more we all learn, the more we understand that sharks and rays should not be feared, they should be respected and protected. I love sharks and rays and need your help to protect them. You can even get all your friends to dive into their imagination and become ocean adventurers too. I can't wait for you to join me on another dive adventure. So keep diving into your imagination, and until next time, I'll catch you later. To learn more about our amazing underwater world, check out our books, educator guides, and other Adventures of Ocean Annie programs. You can also email me through my websites, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube accounts and ask me more about how you can help our ocean.